everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Hello, TikTok. Forgive what I look like. I've spent most of the day crying and screaming, so I'm a little rough. But I feel like I have a story to tell and I'd like to share it. As I'd like to say, they go low, I go public. Strap in because I have no idea how long it's going to take me to tell this story. Hopefully I can get it out in one video, but if not, I will be posting multiple parts immediately. I'm not making y'all wait for shit. I don't care. The short version of the story that I'm about to give you the long version of is my current husband is in a serious relationship with and dating and sleeping with my brother's wife. Real Jerry Springer shit. I can explain how we got here. And the reason I was screaming and crying today is because I found that out today, which is Christmas morning, for the record. Just so we're clear, Christmas morning I found out that my husband is sleeping with my brother's wife. So it's been a day. So how did we get here? Let me give you a little bit of backstory as to how all of this has come to be. We're gonna have to back it up quite a bit to where I met my sister-in-law. So my sister-in-law and my brother, I honestly really loved her for a long time. I thought she was so good for my brother. I felt like my brother became a better person when he was dating her. I praised the hell out of her. I told her all the time I loved having her in my life. I loved her being my sister, all of these things. Me and my husband started dating right around the time they got married because him and I were talking during their wedding. I remember that. So by the time my husband and I were dating, they were already married. So my husband came into the family picture with my brother and her already having been married for a while. So to my husband, she has always been sister-in-law. That is my sister-in-law. I'm still so lost here. Anyway, we, as a couple, we include my brother and his wife in game nights and hangouts and stuff. We want to include them, especially because my brother's wife is not good at being social, and neither is my husband, actually. Two bees in a pod. So we would really try to include her and be like, oh, come do a game night, come do this, whatever. Play Dungeons and Dragons with us. Really wanted to include her. I'm a nice person. I always wanted her to feel welcome and included, and I always made a lot of effort for that. To the point that she apparently has hated me for years because I wanted to hype her up in a game night. I don't even know how to explain this because it makes no sense, but essentially she was playing games and I wanted her to feel good, and I was like, oh my god, you're so good, you win all the time. I don't know, I was just hyping her up for winning. I wasn't like, oh my god, you're winning, I hate you. I was like, you're winning, yay. And I guess she took that as an insult for some reason and has harbored resentment for me ever since, and I didn't even know that until a year or two ago. So that was weird. Anyway, she's insane. That'll become more and more clear as we go. Eventually, my brother and her started having problems because she's crazy. My brother's no saint either. Let's be clear. My brother was not a good husband. He never has been a good husband. But after today, I'm like, dude, how did you survive with her? She's insane. She's a very bad, crazy, vitriolic person. Whatever, they start having problems, and she is being very nasty to my mother, who has been nothing but supportive. She's being very nasty to me. She's just a nasty person. And so her and my brother separate, but aren't divorcing. They're just separating, whatever. It's a whole fucking... During the time that she's splitting from my brother and she's being very nasty to my entire family, my husband and her bond and hang out on the internet all the time. They're constantly playing games together online. Oh, we're playing Baldur's Gate together. She needs a friend. She needs a friend. Okay, well, she fucking hates me. Why are you hanging out with her? I don't think you should be hanging out with someone who, A, is leaving our family. You're part of the family. She's not anymore. Stop hanging out with her. Also, she hates me. It's weird that you're hanging out with her. By the way, I never said any of this to him. I told him it made me uncomfortable and that it was weird. But I'm never going to tell someone, you can't be friends with this person. I'm not controlling in that way. So I let him know it made me uncomfortable, because she doesn't like me, and she's not part of our family anymore, so it's weird. But he insisted she needs my friendship, so they were friends via the internet primarily. I dealt with this, whatever. Not my problem. Kept it in the background. I always trusted my husband. I never felt I had any reason not to trust him. I'm just not like that. So I never thought anything of it other than, he's just too nice. He can't be mean to people. All right, what? Then me and my husband make the decision to move cross country. We move from Central Florida to Los Angeles. That's a huge move. We pack up all of our things, our cats, we drive across the country, we move to Los Angeles. It's a big deal. It's expensive to live in Los Angeles. We realize that it's going to be a more expensive thing, but we make that decision together. I want to pursue improv and acting and all these things, and he just wants a new start and is excited about a new city. So it's a joint decision. We both agree. I never would have moved out to Los Angeles if he wasn't on board with it. I'm not a controlling person. Don't know why anyone would think that. He's tried to change the narrative a lot, so this is why I'm being clear. Anyway, moved to LA. We're there for 4 months, and then he comes to me one night on the couch and tells me he's not happy. We're not in love anymore. There's no spark. We're basically just roommates. Okay, I was high and trying to watch Smiling Friends when this happened, so like, what the fuck? Oh, also backtrack. Sorry, I'm not a good storyteller. This is a weird story to tell. Backtrack. A month or so prior to this, my husband came to me and said, "Oh, I want to do this D&D campaign with your brother's soon-to-be ex-wife, but she can't afford it, and it's a paid session, so like, I think I'm gonna pay for her sessions." And they were like $50 a week. And I straight up told him, I was like, that makes me very uncomfortable. You're paying to spend time with another woman who doesn't like me. It's really weird. You don't take me on dates. You don't spend money on me. Why are you going to spend money on her? That's really weird. I don't like that. But it's your money. I can't tell you how to spend it. I'm just letting you know it makes me uncomfortable and it's weird. And he did it. He paid for her so that they could play D&D together every week. I feel like an idiot in retrospect that I was so cool with all of this. Okay, so back to the part I was talking about before where he comes to me and he dumps this on me. And I'm like, what? Okay. So I was dumbfounded. I dealt with the conversation as best as I could when I'm a bit stoned. And the next morning when we talked, we agreed there are things we could work on to like bring the spark back in a relationship. Like, I don't know, take me on a date ever. I straight up asked him, I was like, when's the last time you took me on a date? He didn't remember. I think it was like 2 Valentine's Days ago or something. Yeah, I almost wanted to be like, Valentine's Day doesn't even count. And that was like years ago. But whatever. I was like, why don't we go on dates? If you want there to be a spark, you have to like put in a little bit of work for there to be some spark, maybe. So he agrees. You know what? You're right. I should put in more effort. Let's do that. Let's make a date. Let's plan to go to the movies. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I don't even like going to the movies, but I'll go so that we can work on our relationship. I want to work on our relationship. We're married. That's what you do when you're married. Okay, well, before we could get to the movies, we made a plan to go to the movies on a Saturday. And on Wednesday, he comes to me and says, actually, I think what I need is to like work on myself because I don't know what I need. You have your passions, you have all these things you're pursuing and you're really thriving in California and I'm not. Like, I don't do anything. I'm not doing anything with my life. I need to figure out what I want to do with my life. And I feel like if I go back to Florida for just a little bit and really like recenter myself with my family and my friends and just kind of like take time to work on me, I think that'll be what we need. Because I really don't think there's anything wrong with you. Like, you've been a great partner, you've been a great wife. I just don't know what I need, and I need to figure that out. So me, being a supportive wife and person that cares about this person, I say, okay, well, if that's what you think you need. Also, his dad was in the hospital and he wanted to visit him, and I was like, yeah, if you feel like that's going to make you feel better and that'll help you, then I support you. Like, it'll be weird, it'll be rough being apart, but like, okay, I support you. Go to Florida, we'll book you a flight, we'll take care of it. I, again, feel very stupid for how supportive I was this whole time. So my husband flies to Florida. I'm thinking it's going to be like at least a month before he has any thoughts on what's going on. And he calls me a day and a half later. He got in Saturday night to Florida and he called me Monday night or Sunday. I don't know. It was like, it wasn't even 48 full hours that he had been in Florida. And he calls me on the telephone to tell me that he sees no future with me and that he doesn't think we should proceed. The dude didn't even spend a full 2 days in Florida before he decided, yeah, actually, I want to end our marriage over the phone. Bro, what? So obviously, I'm devastated. This is not what I saw coming. I thought we were just like working on our marriage and that he had personal issues to work out. And instead, he's like, nah, I don't even want to be with you anymore, dog. I'm out. So I, obviously had a breakdown on the phone. I cut that conversation short because I couldn't handle it. I called one of my best friends over who lives in my building in LA, and he came over and comforted me. Thank God I had that because, everyone I know is in Florida at this point. I've only lived in LA for a few months. Thanks for doing that to me when no one lives here to help. So he breaks up with me over the phone. I'm devastated. I tell my family, I tell my friends because of course I do. I need support. And then by like Wednesday or Thursday, he calls again to be like, oh, that was kind of a rash decision. Maybe I didn't mean it. Maybe I want to work on things. And I'm like, Thank you for the emotional whiplash. I already told everyone that you broke up with me over the phone for essentially no reason. So I don't know how we recover from this. This is a lot for me to deal with. So essentially, I'm honest and I tell him I don't really know how I feel about that. I was processing that my husband was leaving me, and now you're like, well, no, we should work on it. Like, flip, flop, flip, flop. It's like, I want to break up. I want to work on it. I want to break up. I want to work on it. Are we in 6th grade? Dude, we're in our, like, mid to late 30s, and we're married. Like, can you handle this like an adult, please? So over the next couple of weeks, whatever, at the timeline's very blurry to me, but there's a lot of back and forth of, like, should we work on it? Should we not? I ultimately agree to work on it because I meant my vows. And so I'm like, okay, we can work on it. And he's like, okay, I'm going to fly back to Florida like this weekend or whatever. And I was like, please don't do that. I am not in a headspace where I can work on this with you. If you are expecting to fly here, walk in that door and us like go on dates and start trying to work on it, like, no, you just tried to end our marriage over the phone. I'm not okay right now. You're not going to fly home and we're going to just magically be okay and start dating and fa la la. So I told him, give me some time to process this and be in a headspace where it'll actually potentially work. Because if you come home right now, I promise you it's not going to work because I'm going to be bitter and pissed and it's not going to work. Give me a little bit of time to cool off, get in a better headspace. Then you can come back and we can actually work on it and have a shot because I want us to have a legitimate shot. He seems understanding of this. He agrees. He's like, you know what? You're right. I've been making every decision. This is fair. I understand. I will give you the space you need. But then he booked a ticket to come back without telling me. And he just told me the date he was flying back. And I was not comfortable with that. And I told him that. But he was coming anyway. On the day of his flight to Los Angeles, he texts me and he's like, are you sure you're comfortable with me coming back? And I said, no. I never said I was. I told you I wasn't comfortable with you coming back. This is actually very uncomfortable for me. I am still not ready for you to be here. You booked this without consulting me. You are only just now asking me if I'm okay with it, and I'm not. And so he, again, acts very understanding. No, it's totally fine. I bought a refundable ticket. I will just refund it. It's not a big deal. I will give you time. You're right. I shouldn't have done that without consulting you. I'm sorry. So he doesn't come home. Okay, I'm thinking progress. He's listening to me. He's honoring my feelings. Like, that's good. Not great that he tried to come out here without checking first, but at least he's being chill about this. So my mom comes out to LA to visit me because I'm in shambles. My marriage is falling apart. So my mom comes out to LA, spends some time with me, sleeping on my couch. And then my brother makes plans to come see me the week of my birthday, to be there for me during my birthday. I love my family. They're great. They're coming out there to help me. I love that. And then I have a pre-planned trip to Florida because I have multiple things I need to do in Florida, meet my friend's new baby, go to Halloween Horror Nights, etc. So I tell my husband, hey, you know, I've got family visiting over the next couple weeks and then I go to Florida. Why don't you just come back when I'm back from Florida? That way there's not family in the way and I'm about to go to Florida anyway. It doesn't really make sense for you to come back when there's people in the apartment and also like that I'm going to just fly to Florida anyway. So, and then by then I should feel a lot better and it'll be cool. Well, all of a sudden, apparently, you don't want to work on this. This shows how much you care about me. I'm always last place with you. You care about everything else before me. Sir, what are you talking about? Essentially, the minor details that I'm not like going super in depth on here is that we had written letters to each other because basically he's told me multiple times he's not good at speaking. He's better at writing. So I told him, why don't you sit down and write down your feelings and put them in a letter and I can read them since apparently you know talk good. I didn't say it like that. I'm saying it now because he's a scumbag. But I was like, why don't you write it down and I can read it? So we had a couple of letters back and forth. And like in my letter to him, I told him like that he needs to work on stuff, essentially saying like, yeah, there's a lot of things I'm lacking in this relationship too. I was just kind of like okay with it. But if we're going to sit here and be like, we need to better our relationship, then you also have to step up and fix some things. He really did not like that. He really did not like that I insinuated that he had some things that he needed to do better in the relationship. Really pissed him off. So anyway, I was out one night with friends. I went to Camp Hollywood. It's a swing dance thing in LA. I had friends in town that I hadn't seen in a while. I haven't been around my swing dance friends in forever, and I really needed a boost. So I went to Camp Hollywood. When I was at Camp Hollywood is when he sent me text basically saying, like, that I'm not trying, I don't care, I put him last. And he insinuated, you go to your dance first, your mom, your brother, your trip to Florida, your birthday, like, I'm last place, you don't care about me. And so at that point, I lost my goddamn mind. Because this man has the audacity to tell me that I'm being selfish because I dared set a boundary to say, hey, you just tried to break up our marriage over the phone, give me a minute. And I set a boundary and I said, you can come home once all of this chaos is over because there's no fucking reason for you to even be here right now. But apparently me setting that boundary means I put him last. I care about everything but him, and he's last place. That's insane. So I left the ballroom. I went outside to the parking lot across from LAX and I called him. And I proceeded to essentially yell at him for like 2 hours, at least an hour. It was a long time for me to be yelling. I'm going to be honest. Even I got tired of yelling that much. I let him have it. I absolutely let him have it. I stopped holding back because he made it very clear he no longer wanted to work on our relationship. He also insisted that a big part of it was because he wanted kids. And even though he's told me many times that being with me mattered more than having kids, that he would have a happy life with me, with or without kids. Suddenly, it's a deal breaker. He wants to have a kid. He wants to be a dad, and he wants to be a dad right now. And I'm like, dude, we've discussed potentially adoption down the road, but like, it's very expensive to have a kid. I'm in my 30s. It would be very hard for me to bear a child, like, naturally. If we have a kid, it'll be adoption, and it'll be a few years down the road because, like, we don't got money for that. But apparently, he wasn't willing to wait. He wanted to leave me because apparently I suck and he wants to be a dad, and all of these insane reasons. It didn't really make sense to me. They still don't make sense to me. And now I actually understand they weren't ever really the reason. So that's why they didn't make any sense. But yeah, it was a really shitty phone call. I was mean, but I'm going to be honest, he deserved it. It was what I like to call righteous anger because he deserved everything I said and a lot more. But I was mean. I will completely own that I was very mean to him on that phone call. Because at that point, to me, our marriage was over and I didn't have to be nice to him anymore. So that is the one part of this where I will say, hands up, I was mean to him on that phone call. But I'm not apologizing for it. I don't regret it at all. Okay, so after that phone call, our marriage was fully 100% done. I was done with this person. So we had to make plans for him to come get his shit out of our apartment. And he also agreed, like, hey, we signed this lease together. I'm going to keep paying my part of the bills. Like, I'm not going to leave you hanging. And I was like, yeah, cool. Because at this point, it still feels like kind of amicable. It's a little vitriolic, but it's like, you know, I still loved him. It was just like he suddenly, I thought, was having a complete midlife crisis mental breakdown. He's about to turn 40. And I was just like, oh, he's imploding his life. This is stupid. He'll regret it later, but I can't do anything about it. He's decided this is how he wants to implode at 40. That's what I thought was happening. So we make plans for him to get his stuff. And he makes a plan to fly out to LA and then drive his stuff back. Okay, whatever. Now keep in mind, I still have my trip to Florida that I have to go to. So when I am on the plane, I've straight up told him I'm about to board a plane. When I'm sitting on the plane, getting ready to fly back to Los Angeles, he texts me and says, hey, also, we don't have to have the conversation now, but I was going to say I want to take one of the cats with me when I come get my stuff. So now I'm having an absolute, like, anxiety panic attack on this plane right before it takes off because this man is going to now try to take one of my, essentially, children away from me. Really cool timing. Okay, so where we left off, he had just told me as I was boarding a plane back to Los Angeles, which is like a 4.5 hour, 5 hour flight. He's like, I want to take one of our cats. I want to take that cat back with me to Florida. No. So then it became him saying, well, I'm going to fight you legally for it. I'm going to try to take her. Me explaining, well, you won't win that fight because I've paid all the vet bills. She's been living with me for a while you've been gallivanting in Orlando, not taking care of her. Like, you're not going to win that battle. No court in the world would give her to you. All you're going to do is cause me stress and cost us both money. Please don't do that. And he insisted on he was going to fight me for her anyway. I told him, if you show up to the apartment with the intent of taking that cat, She will not be there when you get there. I will make sure both of the cats are somewhere else where you cannot access them and you won't even get to say goodbye to them. I don't want to do that to you. I know you love those cats, but if you're threatening to take one of those cats, I will make sure you do not have any access to them. Don't do that. I don't want to deprive you of saying goodbye to those cats. Don't make me. He's iffy on whether or not he's going to fight me for the cat. It stresses me out for a long time. Eventually, he books his stuff out to LA to come get his shit. It took a while, but he does eventually come out there. He tells me he's not going to take the cat. So I allow him to see her. He packs up most of his stuff, not all of it, because he's a piss poor planner and I did everything for him. Shocker, he didn't understand how much room he was going to need in a vehicle to take all of his shit with him. So he brought way too small of a vehicle, couldn't fit all of his stuff, was confused how that happened, and then was like, well, I'm going to have to leave all of it here and then I'll have to come back again. I don't want you in my house again. Ugh. Anyway, we have a long, heated discussion while he's at my apartment. My friend is there to be like a mediator. He'll tell you that he found it really funny because my husband repeatedly said, well, I'm not logical. Essentially saying he knows his argument doesn't make any fucking sense. Whatever. I don't need to get into all the drama of that. Suffice to say, we had a back and forth quite a bit. I was very sad. I cried a lot. He was a dick. It is what it is. He left. I've not seen him since he left the apartment that day with some of his shit. A lot of it is still in my apartment in LA. I'm being very nice holding that stuff there. I've considered the fact that he's been paying rent a storage fee. That's about to change. You'll hear more about that in a minute. So, time goes by. I just stop worrying about this person because I got to move on with my life. So I do that. I am taking my improv classes. I'm meeting people. I'm having a good time. Yes, it sucks. I'm going through a divorce. I am still hurting. I am still mourning it. I'm not even considering dating people. I'm thinking about the fact that I'm single and I'm ace, which my other videos talk about that. But I'm not dating anyone. I've not been on a single date. I've not entertained the idea of dating anyone since this, because why would I? It's only been a few months since I thought happily married. So I'm not out here looking for anything. So I have had my suspicions about him and my sister-in-law for a while. I asked him point blank the day he brought it up, do you have feelings for her? No, I don't have feelings for her. Not like that. She's my friend. Whatever. My mom had her suspicions, and she says she doesn't even know why. But the second I told her that he was leaving, she was like, is there something with, I'm not saying her name. I keep wanting to say her name. I don't know why I'm even being respectful and leaving her name out of it, but I'm not saying it. But she was suspicious. Is there something with this girl? I'm like, I don't know. He says no. At some point, he had a face-to-face conversation with my mother. She asked him point blank. He said no. We were suspicious for good reason. We're not stupid. Women's intuition is a thing, but also, I don't think they were particularly good at hiding it. For me, part of the reason I was very suspicious is because, yeah, he spent a lot of time with her on the internet, and anytime I would walk past his office when he was, gaming with her, he was, giddy, like a middle school boy, oh my God. And I was like, that's weird. I don't love that. But I'm not going to be rude and confront him. I'm just going to assume it's in my head and I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. Okay, so how did we get here today? Where Christmas Day, I'm finding out that this is a long ongoing thing and probably overlapped when I was actively with him and we weren't broken up yet. So what happened was about 2 days ago, my mom noticed a Venmo transaction. Venmo caught you out. And what that Venmo transaction was my sister-in-law's father sending money to my husband with a Merry Christmas memo. Sir, why the fuck do you even know my husband? They've never met. My brother's soon-to-be ex-wife's parents are shitty people and don't interact with her very much. They're not nice to her. They don't really care about her. So on what planet would he even know my husband? They've never met. It's not like we had a family Christmas and they all hung out and they're buddies. Literally never met him. And he's sending him Christmas money? Oh, we knew what that was immediately. By the way, it pissed my brother off because he was like, in 10 years, that dick never sent a shit. Like, he never sent me anything. He's sending your husband money? What the fuck? So my brother was pretty pissed too about that. He's further along in the divorce process than I am, so he wasn't like freaking out about this. I obviously was. This was a big hit for me because it was confirmation of something I suspected, but again, stupidly trusted him when he said, no, nothing's going on with her. I do feel like an idiot in retrospect. It's fine if you call me an idiot in the comments for not catching this earlier. I'm just too trusting. So we see this Venmo transaction and we immediately know what this is. My entire family sees it and is like, oh, they're together and they're serious, because you don't send or give a Christmas gift to just like a guy you're just kind of dating. That's a serious boyfriend. And mind you, me and my husband, this conversation that we had where he just said we have problems, that was 6 months ago. We officially split like 3.5 months ago, maybe 4 months ago at most. How long could you possibly be in a new relationship and it get that serious? I ain't stupid. I know there was some overlap. So anyway, this morning, Christmas morning, he texts me, Merry Christmas, even with everything that's happened, I still wish you joy and happiness. To which I wanted to say, bitch, what are you talking about? I didn't do shit. I deserve that. I should be saying, you, I guess, still deserve it. I didn't do anything to deserve you acting like I don't deserve your well wishes. What the hell is that? I'm an innocent bystander in all of this. So, me being the petty little bitch that I am, I respond, Merry Christmas. Hope you and my sister-in-law are happy together. And then, I don't remember what else I said. Here's the deal. Basically, it became a tit-for-tat back and forth of him kind of owning up to it, not owning up to it, then refusing to tell me how long they've been together, saying it's not my business how long they've been together. Oh, I should ask her how long they've been together. Today is a blur. If I remember any of today, tomorrow I will be shocked, because the emotional shit that I went through today with this boy that I was stupid enough to marry was crazy. He was calling me a narcissist. He was telling me I was a selfish, shitty person, that I'm awful, that I just was this terrible person the whole time. Because I caught him. Because I caught him with her. I don't think they had any idea that we would catch them with this Venmo transaction. Her dad being an idiot and publicly posting that where we could see it caught them out, and they did not expect us to catch them. So now they're freaking out, and he's trying to again blame me and act like I'm the bad guy here when I didn't cheat on him. I didn't leave him for his brother. I didn't do any of this weird shit. Anyway, he's being a dick back and forth. At one point, he says to me, good luck paying rent. And I know exactly what that means. And so I immediately go check my savings account, and he has withdrawn all of the money that was in there for me to pay rent on our LA apartment. You tell me how it's possible you're the good guy in this situation and you're the victim when you're literally intentionally stealing money out from under me that you still have access to so that I can't pay my rent. Because it doesn't bother you because you won't get evicted. So he tells me, good luck paying rent. He steals all that money, so now I can't afford rent. Like, it's December 25th. I don't actually know how I'm going to pay January's rent because he took this money out from under me. That again, if you were listening in the earlier parts, he agreed I will pay my half of the rent of the lease because I signed that lease. I am on the hook for that lease. I will continue to pay that. Well, he took that money out of the account. By the way, I'm pretty sure that money came from his parents because he dropped it all into the account in one big sum. And I know he does not have that money. He's broke as shit. So his parents had to have handed him that money. And I'm pretty sure they also bought him a brand new car because I forgot to mention this. When he came to Florida to work on our relationship, he bought a car. Wasn't really subtle that he didn't plan on coming back. And when I texted him and I was like, hey, I saw you bought a car, because he posted it on social media and didn't tell me. And I was like, hey, I thought we were working on our relationship and you were going to come back here. That's kind of a permanent thing that is going to tie you to Florida. And he got snarky with me and was like, oh, well, I need a car to get around. I'm sick of borrowing my father's car and I want to do something for myself for once. Like, again, acting like I trap him in any way. This boy had it so good with me. He's going to be in hell with this insane bitch he's with now. Holy shit. So yeah, he tells me, good luck paying rent. I see that he took the money. So now I'm calling his phone because I need him to pick up the phone and give me that money back. Doesn't answer, doesn't answer, doesn't answer. So I call the sister-in-law because he told me earlier, if I want to know how long they've been hooking up, I should ask her. So I call her. She doesn't answer the first time. I call her a second time. She doesn't answer the second time. I leave her a voicemail. I say, you're fucking my husband. The least you could do is answer the phone. Call the third time. She answers. Hello? Hi, how long have you been sleeping with my husband? What are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about. How long have you been hooking up with my husband? What are you going on about? What? He already told me you guys are together. He confirmed it. You don't have to play dumb. I know you're together. I just want to know how long. He won't tell me. Tell me how long. What? As you can hear, I'm sick in bed. What are you going on about? I'm going on about you are hooking up with my husband. The conversation went on like this for a while where she kept faking and like coughing very loudly into the phone and playing sick, which she might be sick. I don't really know or care if she's sick, but she was coughing directly into the microphone of the phone. So she was definitely being a dumb bitch on purpose. I asked her repeatedly, tell me how long, tell me how long. She won't tell me. At a certain point, because I keep repeating the question that she keeps not answering, she's like, well, if you would shut up and like let me speak, maybe I could talk to you. But since you just want to run your mouth and make assumptions, then you can just assume whatever you want. I am making assumptions. Why don't you tell me? Well, I don't think his personal life is really any of your business. We're still legally married. It is my business. How long have you been sleeping with him? When did it start? Tell me. Because I have my suspicions it was a lot sooner than y'all are going to want to admit. I don't know what you're talking about. I lost it. I cursed her out. I called her what I wanted to call her. I honestly held back. I wanted to say a lot more stuff. I did spike my phone into the grass at my grandparents' house when this happened, and then proceeded to walk sobbing for like a mile away from my family on Christmas Day so I could try to compose myself. But mostly I just sobbed. I went to the house that I used to live in with my husband because it was near my grandparents' house, and I sat near the backyard by a tree and sobbed. I don't like admitting that. I'm a very strong person, but this broke me. I was a broken person today. I'm trying not to cry doing this TikTok explaining it. This man broke me. I don't love that anyone knows that. I don't like that he gets to know that, but he did. Because you know what? I have a heart and I cared about him and I loved him. And for him to hurt me like this, it really sucks. So, I was also informed by my cousin today that she had heard through the sister-in-law that apparently they might be faking this because they know it would hurt me and that it would screw with my head because of how mean she is to me, that they thought that this would be really funny and really mean to make me think that they're dating and then do plausible deniability by never admitting a specific timeline or that they're dating. Here's the thing. I don't think that part's true. And if it is, it's actually worse and it makes them more horrific of people, that if you're literally just doing this because you want to screw with me and hurt me, that's actually worse than if you guys actually are just dating. But I do think they're dating because of the Venmo transaction. There is no reason for that transaction. The funniest part of all of this is because me and my husband have never even officially filed anything. This is now adultery. This is infidelity. I now have all of the power in the divorce. I never cheated on him. I never did anything except for try to work on it. And he has now very openly cheated on me with my brother's wife, who again, their divorce is not final. So now my brother is probably going to get off a lot better in his divorce because he now gets to essentially subpoena my husband's financial records to prove that he's been financially supporting and living with and screwing my, this is crazy. I can't even believe this is happening. like, I know at the end of the day, it's going to work out fine for me. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. He's cheating on me with a family member, which is like incestuously weird. I know they're not related by blood, but that was his sister-in-law. That's how he's always known her. It's gross. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's icky and weird and gross, and it's mean, and it's just hateful. I don't know why, but he for some reason thinks that he's the victim in this situation and that, like, I'm the bad guy. I'm really confused what story he has in his head that makes him the good guy. He keeps saying, like, my friends support me because, you know, like, they've heard my side of the story. I don't want someone that's biased and only hears one side of the story, which is dumb because your friends have only heard your side of the story. So you only want people that have the bias positive to you. I'm losing my ever-loving mind with this shit, dude. So anyway, that's why I'm making this public, because he has gone to all of his friends and pretended that he's this victim and he just needed to get away for whatever reason. I guess he said he didn't feel loved and he wanted to do this for himself because he wanted a chance at happiness and he just couldn't have it with me, even though he never even tried to have it with me. And I didn't even know he was unhappy until he suddenly left. So I had no shot at fixing this because he never communicated there was any unhappiness until he left. And then I had no chance to recover it because it was very clear at this point that what actually happened is he fell for my brother's wife while still with me. And then he decided he would be happier with her. And so he needed our relationship to end. And he wanted me to end it. And I think he initially thought that when he first brought to me that he was unhappy and that he thought the spark was gone, he thought I would like blow up and yell at him. He told me that. I should have asked him, why would you think I would do that? There's never been anything in our relationship that would ever indicate I would react that way. He's like, I don't know why I thought that. I don't know. Like, I just kind of thought you would get upset. I was actually like really pleasantly surprised at how like respectful and calm you were. I was like, yeah. It kind of honestly pissed me off that he assumed I would be mean. Like, why would I do that? Whatever. But anyway, again, all of this is because he wanted for it to be my fault. He wanted the divorce to be because I ended things or because I did something. And so he was grasping at straws and trying to make that the case. He was trying to poke the bear. I'm going to take the cats. She'll blow up. I'm going to be mean to her on her birthday. I'm gonna call her a narcissist. I'm gonna do all these things because then she will blow up and then it can be her fault and I can be the victim. And then when I'm hooking up with this woman who is our family member, no one will judge me and be like, wow, you left your wife for her brother's wife? That's really weird and gross and icky and you're a gross person. He doesn't want that to be his reputation. But I'm letting the entire internet know that is exactly what he did. And if anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to share screenshots and tell you any details that are missing from this story because I have zero to hide. I did nothing wrong. He's a piece of shit. She's a piece of shit. They deserve each other and they're gonna ruin each other's life. And I can't wait for it to happen. Karma's a bitch. Oh my god, surprise ending. Also, she's infertile, so she's not gonna bear his children. He knows that. The being a dad thing was another fucking lie. Fuck this guy, he sucks.
Damn, all that just so I can't have no kids. Alright. Crazy story. Here's a crazy twist to the story. She's the narcissist, okay? He's a jackass, but she's the narcissist. But in the fact, she's not like the evil narcissist, but he was trying to do, he basically moved to California for her. And she made it seem like, okay, I didn't want you to just move out here for me or whatever like this. She really wanted to move to Florida. He plays Dungeons and Dragons, for Christ's sake. He had nothing going on. Okay? He made friends with his brother-in-law's wife. Okay? The guy plays Dungeons and Dragons. Enough said. I have a mental picture in my head about this guy that she could do better. Okay? She could do better. Okay? To know that he's in his room, in his PC, on his PC, playing in his drawers, playing Dungeons and Dragons, and sniggling, or what do you call it when you, with a girl online. Baby, you didn't lose much, okay? You're aging, but you ain't dead. Go find you something, okay? There'll be plenty of men who will shoot up the club and not worry about getting you pregnant, okay? Okay? That's it. The cat thing, the cat thing, he was being a jackass. He don't want the cat. As soon as he would have got that cat to Florida, he just wanted to hurt you like he's been trying to do. He's been trying to do this the entire time, trying to break up with you. The cat was another part to get at you for moving him out to California. He just wanted to take the cat. As soon as he would have got the cat back to Florida, he would have let the cat go or gave the cat up for adoption. The lying to you about the not getting pregnant and saying, oh, all that stuff was a lie. That was just to get at you. Saying he wanted a baby, that was just to get at you. Everything he did was just to get at you. You realize this a little too late, but you realize this. The fact that you allowed him to play Dungeons and Dragons with a woman is crazy. Dungeons and Dragons. And $50 a week? That's $200 a month. And he wouldn't take you on a date? Ma'am. And then you said, oh, well, it's your money. I can't tell you what to do with it. Yeah, you can. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? You should have known right there the relationship was over when he wants to spend $200 a month on another woman to spend time with her, but $0 on you to take you on a date. That's crazy. That should never happen in a relationship, but it did in yours.